Hello and welcome to Deep Dive with Jake. Just wanted to do a quick intro here. If you're new to the channel, this is the Lonercast channel. Welcome. Hello. Today we are interviewing Jordan Blaine of New Comga. Jordan has a great TikTok channel, a YouTube channel, all that stuff where he talks about video games, comic books, anime, and manga. Definitely go check out his content. I will leave links down in the description. I really appreciate you checking out this video. And I really hope you go and check out some content of Jordan's. And with that, Jordan Blaine of New Comga. That's how I always, you came up on my TikTok a few times, like on the For You page. And I was like, New Comga, that's an interesting name. And you were always posting like some fun hot takes. In fact, I think even me and you got into it a little bit. Talking about Dragon Ball Z, which is always fun. I love that stuff. It's good times, man.
Yeah, there's some people that hop on, like, once you get something that blows up, you'll get good people that'll come through. You're gonna get a lot of people on the other side that always come through and want to say something. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you got to be able to debate back. Then you get some people that come through and go, "Oh, anime's not real.
Yeah,
this is not real," and it's just like, yo, like, this is not even for you. Like,
right.
why'd you hop in the comments?
So for people who don't know, can you give us like a pitch of what your channel is?
It's basically comics, anime, and gaming in one. I literally, we a lot of us grow up our lives. We watch a lot of stuff. We do a lot of stuff. Mine happened to come down to superheroes, anime, and playing video games all the time. And so I managed to wrap and pull those three things together. I write my own comic, so I am used to making up new things, such as new words like Comga. People ask me, what does that mean? And I tell them it's comics and manga, literally together. Another way I described it, I laughed because I was like, oh, look, C-O, comics, M, manga, G-A, gaming. That was another way that...
Well, I actually just thought it meant comics, gaming, and anime.
Yeah, exactly. How it could be seen in so many different ways that I was like, you know what? You should just leave it like art. It's up to whoever sees its interpretation. We know it's comics, anime, gaming. However they see this right here, they can interpret it how they want to. So my objective is to, since I've always loved that stuff, and I'm writing my own comic, I told myself, why don't we just do info and stuff that comes to the comic world, the anime world, and the gaming world as much as we can. And I'm by myself. Don't get, like, I have supporters and people that like back me, that invest in me and stuff like that. But when it comes to being here on the ground floor, I'm by myself right now. And so it's crazy because I just hit 20,000 followers on TikTok today.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you. It's also crazy how you'll wake up and like you barely had 3 comments and 1 follow, and now you wake up and there's like 900 comments and you got 200 follows. And you can't go through all 900 of those comments. Like, there's no way. Yeah, because by the time you're combing through those 900, another 100 or 200 have already stepped up. So I've tried to put my New Comga is here to basically just, it's like comicbook.com. I would put that the closest because no offense to CBR, no offense to a lot of other comic book places out there. They're not really, I want to stay as close to what's happening and be real. So if there's a pushback for a DCEU movie, I want to tell you that, and I want you to take it like it's the gospel. But if you hear me say something like on the channel myself, if you hear me say something like Hulk will beat Thor, that's me being biased. I'll admit when I'm biased. Like if I'm biased about something, I'm not about to have you go around the street talking about, what are you guys talking about? Like, Captain America can beat Superman. Like, New Comga said it. Like, here, watch this video. No. I'll be like, if I told you Captain America could beat Superman, my bias. That's me wanting that.
That's the fun of it, That's the fun of all of this stuff.
It is, and people try to make it kind of unfun when they take your personal opinion as the gospel, and you're like, dude, this is just my opinion. This is
Yeah.
this is purely how I feel about the character and how I connect. This is not. I'm not telling you that if I walked up to you and I asked you between these two characters, who do you like, and you told me this one, I wouldn't start yelling at you and screaming at you like, all right, cool, that's your character and stuff like that. But you get people that come at you like, oh, you're an idiot. Why do you think like that? Like, dude, that's my character. What is yours?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
know the experience all too well. We just
yeah,
did
right.
a Captain Marvel review, and me and my
I
co-host
love
Nick,
her.
we were kind of like, it's not the best movie ever,
It's
not my
not.
favorite.
It's not.
And the comments were like, oh, you're wrong, and we're like, okay, well, that's fine. I'm glad you liked it. Like, that's cool. Yeah. I
Yeah, no, and the funny thing is, I can here. I'll tell you this: I am super Captain Marvel biased. I love Captain
Oh,
Marvel.
I do too. I do too. Don't get me wrong. I
Oh
love
my
Captain Marvel.
dude, I love. I don't have like this hate for Brie Larson that everybody has. I love her and respect her for what she does as an actress. I know a lot of people got mad at her when she told those reviewers off a long time ago, but she did the right thing. No offense. If there is a movie and the movie is filled with women and they are Indian descent, they are African American, they are Latino, and the reviewer is a white male who is not in the movie or see himself in the movie, how much
Right.
is yeah, how
No,
much
I
that yeah could they tell us? And people got mad at her for keeping it real by saying it. They were like, oh, she's saying that men can't judge her movies. No, she's just saying like, can the demographic that is kind of made for her like say, hey, this is garbage. I mean, and we're the actual demographic it's made for type stuff. They got mad at
yeah.
her over that and they took that out of context. And then I heard a lot of people saying, oh, well, I hate Captain Marvel. She's so arrogant like Tony. Dude, she didn't even have her memory like most of the entire movie. She was trying to find her
Yeah.
way. So you would rather her remain lost and confused than to know that she's a strong female warrior character. Okay, we're kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I remember when all that went down and just like all the people were so mad. And I remember watching it was like a press conference thing that she did,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
uh,
She did.
yeah, I remember watching that and being like, this is what people are mad about? Like she's totally right. Like
That's right.
there's an obvious like way more of these types of people than these types of
Yeah,
people in this industry, and there is a problem there. Yeah, that's
she's
definitely not
basically
even my
yeah.
problem with the movie. My problem is
She was
just like I think like her character is just kind of lost in there a little bit, but
yeah.
that's just my opinion. I don't
It's
know.
because
It's
they had to speed this. It was
right.
crazy that this was the movie that came out before what is it, Endgame,
Endgame.
because
Yeah.
they had her to have her for that like 5 minutes in Endgame. So she had to come in here, or else we'd have been like, "Who is this chick that just ran in right now, real fast?"
Right.
But they could have just like how they could have released the Black Widow. I felt like her movie being released like literally straight after the Civil War, where it really was. I think that'd have been cold. I didn't see anything wrong with that. Them releasing it right now, or when they did, it was kind of just like, damn, you guys, no offense, you dropped the ball on this. This actually could have made good money back then. I feel like it
Yeah.
could have. Yes, it had nothing to do with the stones and the overall universe, but it went into everything that happened. It got to see us see where she got the ship, where she went to go pick up Cap and them and stuff like that. And just because she was a female character, yeah, she got written over. But Captain Marvel, it was a little quick. I love it because she's basically I love how they made her Superman in this basically.
Yeah.
But the movie it was really fast. They wanted to get from point A to point B and they wanted to do it really quickly.
No, yeah, I totally agree. There are moments of Captain Marvel that I really like, and I actually like Brie Larson, and I'm excited to see like the future of that character. To me, it
The
just felt
Marvels,
like, yeah, it
yeah.
just felt like the movie. There was no like special fight scenes, but that again, that's my opinion.
No,
But
no.
back to
Hey, here,
Black
real fast. You're
Widow.
not
Yeah,
wrong. The only reason I could agree with you right there is because even when it came down to Act Three, even my mom, I think it's funny when I hear my mom say it to me when we have conversations about Marvel movies or DC movies. Just like what happened in Avengers: Age of Ultron, how the camera at the end where they were fighting all the Ultrons and the cameras were like all the way out here, then they're right here looking at them. Then they're all the way out there, then they're right here looking at them. My mom straight up said, "I don't want to stare at the character's face or look straight at the character as they're fighting." When she saw Captain Marvel, she saw the same thing I did. Like when she was at the end, when she would tear through like all those fighters up in the sky, like out in outer space. She would tear through them, but we would just see her. We would just see her spinning, and she's just taking off, and we're just looking. The camera's like right there. It's just this on her, and I'm like, no offense, can we up and watch her destroy them somewhat? But it kept us really close to her, and I felt like, why do some movies do that? Why do out of nowhere, here's Act 3, we're supposed to see the big special effects, and you're just showing us Carol tear through everything, but we're really seeing Carol. And these ships are huge, but we're just seeing Carol, and she's like this small. That they did drop the ball on the CGI. They said, hey, she's gonna be in another movie with a lot of money.
Yeah. It is what it felt like. Like, we got to get this out before Endgame. So let's.
Yeah, Ronan, you stay back. No, nothing special. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Black Widow was a movie that was slept on 100%. I totally agree with you there.
Yeah.
That movie I thought it was really good. I'm so surprised to see people like dislike it. I'm like, that movie's solid. I don't know what the problem is.
Of course, I was mad about the Taskmaster thing, and my thing about that was, I think, of course, it should have been switched to a female if it would have thrown us off. Like, because his daughter, in the comic books, Taskmaster's daughter is a female. So if we were running this version of it, that this was like her, and then the original Taskmaster was to come later, because the original Taskmaster,
they still could do that, you know.
He was someone that could completely and utterly take all the Avengers because of what he had downloaded. So this movie, and they kind of pushed him down to fight her. If it was like, if they were telling me it was Taskmaster's daughter, I think that would be great. But I kind of like, I called it, and that's where I said this movie. I was like, oh, this is bad. As soon as I saw them blow up the little girl, I was like, the little girl is Taskmaster, and I was like, I know Taskmaster is a chick, just because I was like, they haven't taken off the mask, and there's something up. They keep making it. Oh, I saw in the trailer that the old man Drake, what was his name? Was it Drakeoff or whatever?
Yeah.
He had his arms around Taskmaster, and I said one thing. I said, that's a girl. I said, nothing against it. Men don't put their arms around their sons like that, but they do around their daughters. And I was like, I didn't know that was his daughter, but I said, the way he's standing over him, Taskmaster, that's a girl. And then he did it in the movie, and I was all like, I thought so. I was like, just those little subtle hints, because you notice there's things that a dad never does with his son that he does do with his daughter, and so on. And when I saw that, I was all like, if it was a boy, he'd be standing somewhere else to position him to say he's becoming a man or something. You know, it's like that. I think she had a great movie. I think they just released her at a wrong time, and that's why people were hating on it. I also think Scarlett Johansson got done wrong, but at the same time, I really she signed a deal with Disney behind closed doors, and her and Kevin Feige are doing some they have some secret project together after that deal. So my girl's getting paid regardless. Because they sent it straight to stream without telling her, and they didn't have that on her contract. So that's why she got mad and she took it to the courts on them. I would have too.
Yeah, and they also announced like her and Disney are doing like 8 projects together now. So it's like, she probably got paid off, and all these projects that she's getting paid for
at the same time. They were like, "Hey, what are you doing in 2024?" No, we got you for that. Okay, come back. Yeah, totally. So no, I think that's going to be cool. I kind of hope she comes back as the Black Widow from which movie, from What If. I hope the one that got sent to the place where there was just Carol Danvers and Captain America as the Avengers there at the end. If she came back as that Black Widow, I think that would be dope for later on.
Yeah, everything is like, anything can happen now, and like the fact that Gamora is gonna be in the next Guardians, and they're not even like trying to hide it. They're just like, Gamora's in the next Guardians.
She's the 2014 Gamora too. So
it's like, we could see Scarlett Johansson again. We could see Robert Downey Jr. again. Even like we could see all of these people again. We could also see them recasting all these people again. I think
I really hope they do for T'Challa. So I'll be stuck on that forever.
You want them to recast for T'Challa?
I think, and people get mad at me for saying this, but this is just the truth behind the ball. If I was to die doing New Comga today, would I want somebody else to pick up the ball for this and continue to make other people continue to believe something? Yes, because I want people to believe that this is an idea. Like comic books, it's an idea. It doesn't die. And feel bad for my death. Don't get me wrong. Phil, you should feel bad every day. But the thing is, evil doesn't stop. Like, it never stops. So the next person that's supposed to take up this moniker, the mantle as Black Panther, the next person that's supposed to give money to a certain foundation that helps a kid that becomes something. Um, that person is out there, and Black Panther, they've had different people take the mantle before. So when it comes to asking, do we want him recasted? Yeah, of course we feel horrible about Chadwick Boseman. Everybody, that's like rest in peace. But the thing was, everybody's so sad about him dying, they never noticed what he was doing while he was dying. He was working on multiple movies as he was sitting there up, knowing he was gonna die. He knew he was gonna die. He knew it was over. But that didn't stop him from going to each shoot, doing all of that stuff, and making people that look like him, believe, hey, damn man, there's a superhero after me. And so when I hear people try to tell me, oh, I'm selfish because he passed away, rest in peace to him. This has nothing to do with selfishness. But every actor knows that role, that what's on that piece of paper, that story on that piece of paper is gonna outlive every one of them that come to touch it. That story is gonna continue till it will continue tomorrow, the next day on. We are gonna be gone, but that story, that idea will be here. So I heard that even Angela Bassett said that Black Panther 2 is gonna be better than the first movie. It's gonna top it. And I really hope it does. I really hope it does. But I felt like they should have just we should have switched on to the next king because T'Challa's story is not told yet. And I get that he was in 5 movies, which one was only his out of 5 movies. His story still hasn't fully been told. And everybody was telling me we should move on to Shuri. No disrespect to Shuri. When Shuri time come, I want Shuri to have her time. But it's like this, what I was ready for the Avengers now coming up was Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, was Black Panther, the new Captain America. Those are the four biggest forces that I was looking for. Those are Cap taking over for Captain Marvel's taking over for Thor, and Thor is still there too. But we have a new big three. Spider-Man takes over for Iron Man, and then of course Black Panther is Black Panther. Time, yes, we could switch Black Panther straight over to Shuri, but felt like without his story being told, it's not over. And and I also have to put the thing: if we had one Batman movie with just one Batman, he starred in 5 different movies, but only one Batman movie, and then he died after that first movie. Would we make another Batman movie, call it Batman, but not have Batman in it? There where that would happen, where we would have Robin star as Batman, but it's called Batman. Maybe in the future, for like if they ever get to the movies where they want to do a detective mystery between the past and the future is a different Batman that's Robin. Yeah, but
Yeah, or like a Terry McGinnis sort of deal. Yeah.
Wait, or what's his name? The kid, Damien. I love him.
Damien,
And
yeah.
you can have him like to make it look like it's a future version of Batman that's doing a detective case and the present Bruce Wayne. But I just you would get another Batman, you would get another Superman, and a lot of people were like, bring Killmonger back, bring an alternate version of Killmonger back, and have him be Black Panther. And I told people that would be like having Lex Luthor play Superman. Would you want that? And they were like, no. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I get it. We want an alternate version of this. And I said, I'm sorry, but the character hasn't died. Actor has died. And if the actor, even the actor's brother said he would want them to recast. And of course, we can't take the actor's brother for, like, that's his brother. But if he felt like, damn, my brother worked this hard so that people would see this and say, hey, I can do this. I can be here. I do belong in the room. And I was like, damn, like, you guys just want to pass that up. But I hope that this movie blows us away. That's all I can hope for. But
I actually totally agree with you, because I feel like Black Panther is such an important character for obvious reasons. And but like Black Panther, it's not just Black Panther, it's T'Challa. Like it's that character that's really important, and we haven't finished his journey yet. And like I love Chadwick, and I think it's impossible to fully replace him, but I think he would have wanted, I would think, to like continue the mantle. But yeah, they're doing something with it, and hopefully it's good.
Yeah,
But I am worried
yeah,
about it because I know there's been a ton of
a
like
lot of wasted.
production
Yeah,
issues, and so I'm a little nervous about it. But hopefully it's good. Anyway, I wanted to ask you some questions about you and
run it.
get to know you a bit. I could talk about the MCU and the DCEU forever, and we
I
probably
can
will.
too.
We probably
Yeah,
will some
hey,
more in a minute
with
here.
the X-Men coming up, I am the hugest, like I'm a big X-Men fan. So with the X-Men coming
Same.
to the MCU, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. So I wanted to ask, like, what got you into, well, first of all, what was like your first love? I know you do comic books, anime, and gaming, but like what was the first one, the one that was like, this is it? Like for me it was gaming. Like gaming was my thing, and then comic books. And
To
then
say,
also like what got you into that stuff?
I'd have to say number one was it'd probably be music because I know I don't say it and I don't put it out there, but like I do, yeah, I do like singing stuff like that. So music was something that I got into a long time ago, and then when I was young, I would kind of be treated a certain way, and I noticed that I would get treated a certain way different from people, and then my dad like one time showed me Fox Kids, and it was X-Men. It was X-Men. X-Men, the animated series that started, and that's why, of course, X-Men is, well, number one forever for me. And it basically showed me a world of people who are oppressed for literally being born who they are. They're literally born with powers they don't get to choose, and here they are, stuck in the midst of it. Somebody telling them they've done something, even though it's like, yo, bro, I'm trying to go grab something to eat right now.
Yeah.
Please leave it alone. So X-Men was like my very first thing ever that my dad like got me into, showed me Wolverine, all of it. I remember wanting comics and wanting stuff like that, but I wasn't like my dad didn't have money like that, so I really couldn't get into it. So I had to stick to the animated series heavy. Like those were the lure where I got everything that I held on to throughout my teenage years. Um after after that, and I kind of noticed some ways like not everywhere treated me, you know what I'm saying, prejudiciously or racially all the time. I'm not saying that, but I noticed how I got treated at some places. How people would act towards me in certain situations. Even like I think at school one time, I've a couple of times I've had people tell me that I did something or I said something and I didn't do anything and I didn't say anything. But multiple people can do it. Attest to you that I did say something and that I did do something, but I'm just standing here like, no, no, I haven't. So automatically, I knew just that feeling of having that treatment, and then to see another person on the screen, but they're called a mutant, and they're being treated like that. That's just automatically we had a complete and utter. I know what it felt like. I relate to you guys. You guys are my things because I love Superman. I love watching Superman, and that was another show I grew up watching. Batman, the animated series. Grew up watching that too. Loved all those guys, but when I watched all their stuff compared to what happened to the X-Men, I just feel like I couldn't relate because I was going through that at such a young age. And that got me completely into all of this stuff, like watching Spider-Man, the animated series in the 90s. I'm 33, by the way, so yes, I'm getting old, extremely old. Um, all of that stuff. I enjoyed all of those shows, and it kind of gave me one of those moral compasses at the same time that's like, you know what I'm saying, if you know what's going on and you know you should be doing right by somebody, then do right. If you see somebody's hating, or if you overhear something and you know somebody says something to somebody that is literally the wrong word, people now pull out their cell phones, which is great, which is what you're supposed to do, because a lot of times people will say something to you under your mouth. They'll say something slick and they act like they can get away with it, and then you put them on camera, they get mad and they say it out loud. There it is. But what got me into comic books was just it was the stories. It was the stories of the things that they went through. It was also how they were humanized. I remember Stan Lee reading some where he basically said he wasn't here to tell the story about the powers of the characters. He was here to tell the story of the characters. And in doing so, he managed to bring the powers out too and show how great it was and what you would need and all the control. And I love the X-Men, man. Like I'm getting a big X tatted on me somewhere. If I'm not, I'm getting the big golden X-Men. But it's just like that stuff right there totally made me. It gave me hope and stuff. And then when I write my own story, I also like the mutants have their own nation and their own race. I believe in stuff like that too. So of course I had to make that a part of my comic book in a big way. It's just that driving force a long time ago when you were a kid and something hit you and told you, hey, you can do some right in the world no matter how little you are. You can actually try to do some right in the world no matter how little you are. That was the X-Men. That was the stuff for comics that got me into it. Even watching how they would always be the underdogs. That's the number one too I like about the X-Men. They are outlaws and the underdogs. They get captured most of the time. 99% of the time they get captured. And then they come back and they win because they're the underdogs. Because they're not the most powerful. And in life, sometimes you're not the most powerful. Sometimes you are gonna get beat. How are you gonna bounce back? And yes, sometimes the threat is that much more powerful than you. But as a team, they always take care of it. And they got that love for one another, and they also show you the love that you should have for others, and how not to, well, how to hate, but why you should not hate like that. So that's the big reason that I got into comics, was because I would get treated a certain way, then I would watch it happen in the X-Men, and I was like, damn, this is like really happening.
That's awesome. Do you have like a favorite comic book run or like a favorite comic book author? Like
It's like I
that's
think
a
it's
hard
Chris Claremont.
question.
Nah, it's well, I have two. It's Jonathan Hickman's run on Fantastic Four and Future Foundation. I believe it's like issue like 690 something up. I can't remember right now. It's what made me fall in love with Jonathan Hickman, and it showed how great he is a writer. Anything that he does, I think that everybody should check out. And then when it came down to the X-Men, there's Chris Claremont because he is the master of writing. If it wasn't for him, I would not be putting stuff in my comic book issues that start at like issue 2 and then don't come through to like issue 800 because it's been building in the background that big. That's what Chris Claremont is the king of. He is the king of starting off storylines and continuing storylines while other storylines are starting or happening or ending, and we still got another two storylines that are going on, and you're learning about these characters. That that type of writing is how I'm inspired by that, and I'm motivated, and that's what I push to do in my comic book. I want, while one thing is going on, we might have 50 other things happening too, but it's not a clusterfuck. It's it's all organized chaos. It's it's gonna go down eventually. It's gonna happen, and he completely did that. He took the X-Men from where they were, and I think they were like they stood a chance of being canceled too. And he wrote stuff that is basically their golden years. And besides him doing his one, also volume 2 of the X-Men, of the Uncanny X-Men, where they do AVX. I loved, even though it's like only 20 or 22 issues, I have all of them. I just love how they did the run, how this was the X-Men and they were going extinct, and then they had to face off against the Avengers to stop their extinction from happening. It's more new age stuff. Um, I like the old school writers. I like how they had that time for mystery. They had that time to open up a comic book, and the narrations too. Those were those are what set it off. That let you know that it was a creepy night. That the smoke coming around that corner isn't regular smoke. So something's about to pop off, but you don't like. Is this person about to get taken? Is somebody about to jump out? What's popping off? Like just this very old school beautiful thing. Beautiful pictures and beautiful issues. I can't remember what issue it is. There's an old issue of X-Men where they fought the adversary in Detroit. And when like it's like a 1970s issue. So when you see this, it looks like a 1970s issue. Dude, the art style for it and how it was done, it was just so beautiful that I want to take that art style, and if my characters in my comic book are like fighting back in 1960, I want that to be like the cover of it. I want it to look like we're old school 1960 something. I don't want you to have that new school feel. I want you to have that old school narration. That just, it brings that pop to it. It brings the life. And yeah, comics have forgotten that, but all I could say is now how they're going with the X-Men and stuff, and how they're a mutant nation and stuff. I love that. I think everybody should check out that run. I think it's about time that they went for something like this. I think it was cool that they were fighting on the humans' um, land, trying to make them accept them. But I think it's even more beautiful now that they have their own place where they can use their powers where they don't get in trouble where people aren't scared of them, and there's a chance that they're gonna get shot, or 18 to 22-foot sentinels are gonna come stomping around the corner, destroying trees, ready to like. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think everybody should check it out.
Nice. I wanted you've brought it up a couple times. I wanted to ask you about your comic book, and I'll bring it up again at the end so you could like promo it and stuff. But like, yeah, I want to know like what's it about? Where can people like find it, and what's going on with that?
Right now, I literally don't have it posted anywhere. I've been writing issues for it. I just got season 1 done for, and it's going to be called The Unstoppable Guardians. That's the very first comic that I have about. I'm trying to do at least 8 or 9 of them. I'm building a universe here. So I'm working on a different show right now. It's actual season 1, and the funny thing is that comic book season 1 starts up literally right where the Unstoppable Guardian season 1 ends. It's about I call them Genos. They're not, basically it's mutants, but they're called Genos. Um, born with powers. Basically, get your powers with with time. You know, usually when you go through puberty or you get them before, living in a different world and stuff like that. I'm working on the approach right now because they're about to be outed to the world big time. And so as they're outed to the world, I want to see how I'm working on how it's gonna be taken. But the object for my comic is basically I have superheroes here, but these superheroes are kind of here to make a better world. They're not just Batman and Superman and like I go out, I save you, you go to your job and you make $8.50 tomorrow for 8 hours while the man still steals all your money and stuff. Um, I'm actually building a comic book where my superheroes they're attempting to change the world, and it's going to take time. It's not easy. It's not can't make a wish and it happens, but it takes politics, it takes money, it takes good people, it takes people willing to do the right thing, and of course there's a lot of people out there that are willing to do the wrong thing, and do bad things. So my comic book is literally a mix of just I tell people all the time, think of X-Men X Dragon Ball Z. And I
Nice.
was like, that's what we're gonna get into and stuff. My main character off the bat, well, not main character, the leader of the main team that I have off the bat has a sword that is literally the sword of dimensions. So there's gonna be dope, interesting, beautiful fights. I want to take it up to the level, tournaments galore. But my overall reaching for the entire comic book was for, by the end of it, the superheroes and where they started, there was to be a better tomorrow. If there's not a better tomorrow, then I don't know what we're doing this fighting for. And trust me, the second I drop it on webtoons or anything, I've got most of the characters drawn up right now. I've got my artist that does that. He's actually, whenever he's done with his stuff in LA, there's a chance we were gonna link up so that he can start we can start getting some issues done. Second I put it up, man, yeah, I was thinking about I was gonna make a site. New Comga originally was supposed to be a comic/manga website where you could, as new authors and illustrators, you can upload your stuff. But ideas evolve.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I can't wait to check it out. I'll be the first one in line for sure.
My God.
Yeah, I love hearing that you want to make your characters, heroes and like change the world. A lot of what we see, and don't get me wrong, I love this stuff too, but a lot of like what we see currently in modern comic book adaptations, especially on TV and in movies, is like The Boys or I'm totally blanking. Invincible.
Yeah.
And where
Everybody's
it's like,
doing the dark take.
yeah, let's do the dark take,
Yeah.
which I love the dark take. Invincible, I have the whole compendium and all that stuff. Like, I love it.
Right.
But like, it's so cool when you get it's almost like what's old is new again right now, where it used to be the cool new thing to see like, what is evil Superman? What is evil Superman, or what is
and now everybody runs.
Yeah, what is Superman if he actually existed in the world or whatever? And now it's like, it's kind of cool to just see like Superman being Superman and like being helpful and doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That was kind of my
issue
with the Snyder stuff, was like, man, it's like Superman's pretty dark. I thought he was the hope and what happened to that. But
No, I feel that. And the funny thing too was I had friends tell me in Man of Steel before I had watched it, they were all writing me telling me, "Hey, dude, you're not gonna like this version of Superman." And I was like, really? And they was like, "Yeah, we know you love Superman. So we know you're not gonna like this version of Superman." And I was like, "Why do you guys keep?" I was like, "Let me watch the movie and then I'll ask you again." Watch the movie, come back, and I go, "Do you guys think I wasn't gonna like this because Superman had to snap Zod's neck?" And they were like, "Oh yeah," there's like, "Yeah, we thought as soon as we saw it, we're like, Jordan's not gonna like this." And I was like, "Dude, you know he's killed Zod like 3 times in the comics, right?" And they were like, "No, no, I didn't know that." Yeah, like he's he's done it before multiple times, and I was like, and then when you look at this, if you got to understand, for me, I was like, you had to understand the writing for Snyder. Snyder was trying to show how strong this man was, how capable he was of what he could do, and at the end, I even said to myself, I was like, why didn't you just fly up with him? I was like, why didn't you just grab him and fly off with him? And then I thought about it. I was like, no. I said they're too close to each other. I was like, if Clark is trying to fly, there's a chance that Zod has activated his gravitational pull and is holding them down. So him trying to fly, there's a chance that he can't fly. They're just gonna have two conflicting. Because that's the one thing I loved about Snyder. He put the gravitational thing. So as soon as Superman started flying, you noticed his body would like go into that one thing where he'd sit like this, and I'm like, you're like in Ready State somewhat. You'll get better at it, but this is your first movie. He does. He has a gravitational thing that comes out of him, and I was like, if he was trying to pull him and he's holding onto that gravitational pull, then no, he wasn't going to fly. And the part where he broke his neck, I was all like, that was him also showing Superman's strength for murdering a dude that is supposed to be as strong as Superman. And I was like, I was cool, but I there was he was it was meant to be darker than what it was. And I was surprised Snyder didn't get to do Batman. Whereas all the dark stuff he did, he really didn't have they never gave him Batman.
yeah, he would have killed a Batman. I would have loved to
Yeah,
see
he
that.
would have. He would have.
Yeah, I felt like the tonal issues with that were it was so weird. It's like, oh, he has to choose to kill Zod, even though I feel like the compassionate thing to do is to kill Zod, because
Right.
like literally you just killed
Yeah. His entire race
thousands.
and nation, yeah. Just
Yeah,
everything
well,
he
and
stood
all
for.
of Metropolis is like
Yeah.
destroyed as well.
As
It's
many
like
people as you could.
if you
Yeah.
don't kill him, you're gonna end up killing more people. Uh,
Thank you.
I
Like the
actually
Joker.
I actually do appreciate that in the Marvel movies. They're just
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, these dudes kill people. Like even in the
But
first Captain America, he like throws the dude into the propeller.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, throws the one dude as soon as the thing drops, throws him off. Oh, he's dead too. I was like,
yeah,
damn, they just murdered y'all left and right, bro. Like
yeah.
they really did.
Um, well, I on this channel, one
Hmm.
of our main focuses is video games. You know, we do a lot of video games and stuff. I'm
Right.
a huge movie guy, video games, comic books, all
Okay.
that stuff. But we do a video game show on this channel, and I love to ask people because a lot of my interviews that I've done in the past are people who don't play games. So it's exciting to have someone here who actually plays games, and I love asking this question to everyone. Both I know it's a hard question to answer, but what is your favorite video game? And then also, what is your video game journey? And what I mean by that is like, what was your first console to like your next like what was your journey with video game consoles?
Okay, I'll go far back as I can remember. I'd have to say my favorite video game right now, hands down, just because I'm a fighter all day, is it's Street Fighter. Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 4. I can't wait for Street Fighter 6. I'm super fighting game. So my very first video game console goes all the way back to a Sega. And I believe that was like 1990, excuse me, 1985 or 1986. God, so far back. I remember getting one of those and then getting Sonic, and I had no idea what Sonic was about. So I know I never beat it ever. I remember going over to my friend's house and playing his Nintendo, and basically when we were playing his Nintendo, I would play Street Fighter 2 and all that stuff, and I'd be like, damn, how come Sega doesn't have this? And now there it is. The memory just came through. So my parents had the original Nintendo, not the Super Nintendo. That's what my friend had. The original Nintendo because they had Mario and stuff like that. I remember that. And all those old memories coming through. Those were the things that I would play with them and my brothers and sisters when I was extremely young. God, man, I don't even think I was able to play. That's how young I was. But I know my very first system for me that my dad got me for sure was the Sega. And I remember playing like all the he would buy Madden for it, he would buy Sonic for it, he would buy all that stuff, and I loved it. I remember when the PlayStation came out and Tekken 2 was out. Oh my God, that's where when I played Street Fighter, that's where I knew like fighting games was my destiny. Like the second I grabbed the controller, it was like, oh, like I knew like I would love fighting games forever. Then I played Tekken and I loved Tekken. I loved how it moved. I didn't like the 3D version and how the side steps would go because I was all like, wow, like I get it that I'm moving like this, but if this was a real game, I'd have sidestepped and I'd have threw him off this damn thing. But this is a video game, so we'll live. Um, Playing all of that, I played somewhat the NBA games. I was never into sports. My dad would always try to get me into it. I played like football and stuff with him, in basketball with him, but I never really ran it by myself. I was more of the sci-fi, fantasy, and all that stuff. So PlayStation was my stuff. Digimon World 1 was my stuff and everything like that. And the funny thing was Digimon World was like my stuff after PlayStation. I think it was 2 and Final Fantasy 10, and that was like my very first RPG I really had ever gotten into. And people would always be like, Final Fantasy 10? I was like, yeah, like never played. I played 7, it's my favorite, but that's like my journey started from there until I met my friends, and then they introduced me to like Legend of Dragoon when I was like in 6th grade, Final Fantasy, some other RPGs and stuff that I've never played in my entire life. And all from there. I was always PlayStation. Um, I never got an Xbox until it was like Xbox 360. And when Xbox 360 came out, my friend had bought like Gears of War, and I was watching him play that, and I was like, I have to own this video game. So Gears of War was the thing next that I had grabbed, and dude, I would spend like 18 hours on that game, like online, just mashing on people, just giving it to them horribly bad. Like, and I know I would give it to a horribly bad because I would have a what is it, torque bow, and I'd have a sniper. And bro, like people hated me. Like if you were far away from me, it's pow, sniper, you're dead. If you got close to me, flip back, pull the torque bow, don't even aim. Just hold it and keep it charged. And as soon as they're gonna do something, you know that as soon as they're gonna move or not, let go and it just sticks. I would blow people up like it was a shotgun and they would be so pissed. I would put so much time into that game. So it was something I definitely love. When Street Fighter 4 came around, I was big into that. Um, Hitting up like Evo and stuff. Not really joining the tournaments. I don't. My life has never been at that point where it's so good that I can go and just practice consistently and do tournaments. But I'm working up to get there because I really want to get back into the scene and do some fun things. And the scene is really fun when you go there to learn. Not everybody's an asshole. There are people that are there that will help you. That they see that you're trying your best, and if you're not an asshole, you can find some cool people, find some friends, and that's some stuff that I want to do. Get back out to there, practice more because I love fighting games. It's the only place where I can really knock you out and not get in trouble for it. I mean, besides the UFC and the ring, the MMA and stuff like that. And I go to the gym and that stuff I want to get into too. But when it comes to my journey with games, when it comes to fighting games, all day, Mortal Kombat. I remember going to see the movie because, the video game had come out because that was the first time you could punch somebody in the nuts and it goes, whoopsie, and stuff like that.
Yeah, classic.
Fatalities, yeah, babalities, all of that stuff. Yeah. Dude, I was young with my brother playing MK4 with Ultimate MK4 with the 64 characters. Um, and we're over here doing attempting all the combos, trying to do all the fatalities just so we can see them. Yeah, I was born in 1988, so
Yeah, that I've always had a hard time with fighting games, but dude, Dragon Ball Fighters got me in. I'm like, okay,
oh yeah, Dragon Ball
I
Fighters.
like fighting games now.
God. Do you know do you do the auto combos or do you do the real combos for it?
When I first started, I was doing the
Mhm.
auto combos, and I think that's why Dragon Ball Fighters is so cool because it's a good entry point for
Yeah, it
fighting
allows
games.
you to be able to do it. Yeah.
But then as you start playing more, you're like, well, I kind of want to figure something out. And then you start
Yeah.
learning some combos, and then you start mixing it together, some auto
Okay.
combos and some
So,
combos. And
so You know how to basically pop a character up into the air. They're doing a crouching medium, standing medium, then jump after them, knock them back down, call the tier or call your support in, lift them back up, and then continue. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You
Oh
started
yeah,
getting with it. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That
That
auto combo made you say, yeah, I got to do this stuff. Here we go.
yeah. Well, and then you start playing online, and you're like, how are these people doing this? And you have to like, then you have to like figure it out. And then that
Yeah,
that ended up getting me into Tekken some more because I remember playing Tekken when I was younger. So yeah, fighting games for me, I'm not as huge into them as you are probably, but like I love a good fighting game here and there.
that's what's up. Yeah,
Yeah.
and fighters is definitely it is top notch. It's one of those where if you don't know how to do anything and you're just spamming it and stuff like that, then here you go. We'll give you as good as we can. But if you do find out how to do some stuff, you're gonna have fun.
I know a lot of the hardcores like aren't into it because it's like too easy or baby game or whatever,
Yeah.
and you could do like unlimited combos or whatever.
Well,
But
you don't like they don't like getting beat by what they consider
yeah,
lower level people.
I
Yeah.
like that though because it's like yeah, just let everyone play. It's a video game. Like let's have some fun,
Right.
you know.
Right. But they're
There
trying to make money. That's why.
yeah, but there is a place for like a schoolgirls as well. You know, there's a place for that. Um, is there any video games like currently that you're playing like like modern stuff or not even modern,
um.
just like anything you're playing right now? Yeah.
Pokemon Legends Arceus
Oh, nice.
Until Pokemon Scarlet or the other one drops out. I've been sitting here on this, and I know I still got Pokemon Diamond. I think I beat the Elite Four on that, but I haven't, and that's all on my Switch. I also have a Fairy Tail game, the anime, on it's a Japanese RPG on my PlayStation 4 that I've had it for like 2 years and I haven't beat it, but I'm one of those where it's like I haven't had much time for my games, so I know I'm gonna get to them. They can sit there
Any
for a minute.
interest in Elden Ring?
Hey, funny thing was I wrote my best friend this morning asking him if he was gonna grab Elden Ring because if he grabbed it, I was gonna grab it on my PlayStation 4. But he had told me his PlayStation 4 is down, so if he was gonna grab it, he's gonna grab it on the Xbox Series S, and I don't have one of those. So I told him, I'm gonna leave it right now because I know
Yeah.
if I grab Elden Rings, I'm gonna be stuck on that game for so long. It just looks too great. It's too cool. It's literally what I would want for it's what I would want for a video game for my comic book and for it to be like a superhero fantasy where you have dragons or villains doing stuff like that, like and you can outfit your character. That game just looks too cool.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome. I've put a little
yeah.
bit of time in. I also beat Pokemon Legends Arceus. Great
My
game,
God,
dude. It is a fun ass game.
it
But
is.
I had the same problem with Elden Ring where I bought it on my PS5 and all
Uh-huh.
my friends bought it on PC, and I'm like, guys, hello.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's painful. Before we start wrapping it up here, I wanted to ask you both about the future of the MCU and how you feel
Mhm.
about it, and the future
Mhm.
of the DCEU. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
you could take
Uh,
that however you want.
no, I can I'll run the DCEU first. So for the future of the DCEU,
Like, what do you want?
I
What do you think is gonna happen? Like, yeah,
okay, so far as the rumors with them saying that Batgirl is taking over as Batman, Supergirl is taking over as Superman, with the Flash, with the whole Flashpoint, there's gonna be this big soft reboot that's happening and have them come in. Um, I'm just gonna be true. I don't want it, and that is in no rudeness to Batgirl, Supergirl, and all of them. I think that they all deserve their stuff, but I think that they all deserve their stuff in their time, just like Shuri deserves her stuff in her time when it comes. I think they should make Shuri Black Panther moves. I think they should make Batgirl moves. I think they should make Robin movies. I think they should make Nightwing movies. I think they should make Red Robin movies. I I think if they're not making those movies, they need to be making series that delve in between like Disney is doing, that give us 9 to 8 hours more time to delve into the characters so that when you pull them into a movie, it's about something else. We know about them. Let's move on. I think that them pushing all their stuff back because of this merger to 2023 is complete and utter lunacy
yeah.
because this was their chance straight out after
It's
COVID
the year of
to
DC.
yeah, this was their chance to shine. The Batman for me was an easy 10 out of 10. It
Yeah,
was
it's great.
beautiful. It was a great, it's how you do the Batman. Okay. I think that they were on a roll and that they were going to push this year, and then that merger trying to set in, so they have to push back. I hope that they can build this universe and they actually sit down and make somebody, they create a Kevin Feige for this. I think they need one person, just like Star Wars needs one person, because Disney failed on that for the movies, but they're doing great for the shows. The DCEU needs one person to overlook it all to make sure that we're going to get from this point to this point, and everything in between is going to line up, and we're all going to meet here. That's what they need to do and stop playing around. If they're going to run this multiverse, start putting these movies out in the multiverse, and then bring together the multiverse Justice League. Beat MCU to what they think MCU is going to be doing, and try to do it their way. This is People keep comparing them too much to the MCU, and I think they keep comparing themselves too much to the MCU, and I think they need to stop, because the DC animated universe is pure fire, and they need to take from that and they need to learn from that. So, what I expect from DCU, I can't wait for Aquaman 2. Kind of disappointed about an actor that's in that movie, though, after the allegations and stuff that happened, but I'll continue. However, for Jason Momoa and every great actor and actress that's in that movie that's doing their thing, more pride to them, more power to them. Because to see Aquaman as um, a Samoan, a somewhat, what is it, more like Pacific Islander, on that, you guys, they completely deserve that representation, and it's perfect too at the same time. Um, One of the shout out I want to give is to Aquaman's dad for being Aquaman's dad, and also being Abin Sur in the original Green Lantern, and giving Ryan Reynolds you, sir, you are a legend and a god. Okay, like I saw that the other night and I said, oh yeah, gotta give him props. I can't wait for the Flash. I cannot wait. I do not enjoy the CW Flash as much as I used to. Um, it used to be hands down one of the greatest shows, just because it was new. Now they
First two
keep doing
seasons were
yeah.
solid.
Now they keep doing the same thing, and it's just getting cheesy. To me, the Flash deserves a Superman and Lois type show, a Superman and Batman money. He deserves that funding. That character is that big. This is the character that rebooted the entire DC, which is about Batman. So if he's not second to Superman, come on, you should give him that money. I'm saddened that his movie got pushed back. I wanted to see his movie so bad, and I don't. Nothing against Ezra Miller. I just don't. To me, his version of Barry is more Wally. The way he acts, the things he does, how he talks, it just feels more Wally.
Awkward,
And
yeah.
the second that they said he was Barry, I said, why didn't you just give him Wally? And then they made his lightning blue, and I'm like, so if he's the fastest, why didn't you just give it to Wally, who is the fastest? But do you,
But I
sir?
also think that was like a Zack Snyder thing, because everything has to be sort of
Well,
gray
he
and blue. You can't have yellow
he was
lightning.
basically saying, because the lightning was blue in the comic books, blue lightning means you have the most powerful connection to the Speed Force. So that's what he was doing with Barry. My thing is, dude, this is the very first Flash, the very first Flash we're ever having in a movie, and you have his suit red and gold with blue lightning as his first movie. You
Well,
couldn't just keep it. You just couldn't keep it gold. You just, for his first movie, just
yeah. And
go
even
all the
for
way.
like, this is the first time we're seeing him. Even if he is the fastest guy, he probably shouldn't be the fastest yet.
Oh,
He should,
yeah, he should be working his way up to that connection, which would be
yeah.
great. And I I love the ending. That flash moment that happens at the end of the Justice League. Um, I think after I watched Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition and Justice League Zack Snyder's version, I took back everything bad I ever said about Zack Snyder. I used to talk shit about him, like seriously. And I took it back and I said, no, I said, you know what? If they had left you and let you do your entire vision, everybody would be speaking differently now. If they had let you run with what you had wanted to originally run with, and they never stepped in your way, stomped on your feet, you this would be something that the people talk about, because they're not lying. Like, when I saw Batman vs Superman in the theatrical version, it was horrible. It was Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne. That's what the movie should have been called. When I watched the Ultimate Edition, it was a fully fleshed out story about everybody. It was beautiful. And I just felt like that he did not get a chance to do that how he wanted to. I'm want the Flash. The CW Flash got renewed for season 9. No offense, it shouldn't have, but I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
every damn episode because that's how much of a Flash fan I am. Because I'm also one of those people that believe that you cannot 100% have an opinion on something if you haven't checked it out. Like there are people that'll say, "Oh, that whole series is garbage." Dude, out of the 500 episodes, how many episodes did you watch? 2. So how is the entire series garbage if you only watch 2 episodes? Oh, I'm not gonna watch it all to tell you it's garbage. Well, you've only watched enough to tell me that 2 episodes are garbage. You haven't watched enough to tell me the whole series is, but you're gonna tell me that, right? Well, exactly. You gotta in order to be able to talk shit about something thoroughly and correctly, you gotta watch it all. I can't watch a
Totally
movie
agree.
halfway and be like, "Oh, that movie was garbage," and then everybody's like, "Dude, did you see Act 3? It went down. They were destroying everything. Oh my God, there was blood everywhere." I I want the DCEU to take flight. I want it to gain wings like a phoenix, and I want it to be that thing like when we all watched Justice League when we were young, when we watched Static Shock when we were young, the animated series. That's how I want that to feel, and I think the DCEU can get there. I just think it's been trying so hard to be the opposite of Marvel when it doesn't have to be. When it came down to the comic book characters, they never sat there and said, "Let's make this the opposite of that and let's go." It never was like that. It was, let's make these established characters have these principles, roles, ideologies, and let's push it from there. Now it's like, we got to be darker, edgier. It's like everybody sees the MCU and goes, "Wow, look at those precious little kids," and they go, "No, we got teenagers. They're skateboarders. They're emo punks. They're gangsters. They're no, bro. Calm down, okay? Just stop trying to paint them in an image that's not them. Take your time and build them up first. Because when we got the Justice League movie, we had gotten Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and then it was like Wonder Woman, I think, and then it was Justice League, and it was like, so we're not gonna build everybody else first. We're just gonna
Well, I guess we got
say
Suicide Squad. It
that.
doesn't
Oh
really
my God,
contribute, but
that the first Suicide Squad movie pissed me off so bad too, because I straight up said when they went in there and they had seen Amanda Waller, I was all like, "Y'all are telling me we came all the way up in here to grab you?" And I was like, I was so mad because I said, "You know, anytime you could have left this building and attempted to walk somewhere and left the city, but instead you've been sitting here in this building, just kicking it like they'll come save me." I was like, you should. How did you not leave? They're in like the center of the city, and then all the people that he transformed. It took time. He was one. It was one damn thing. It was the brother by himself. How did you not clear out of the city or make it out of the city? And you know what, Amanda, just leave me alone right now. Kill all the FBI agents in the room right now because they're not supposed to be here real fast. And then she did.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I, with DC, I've got a theory, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's had this theory, but
Right.
and I'm sure, in fact, you've even heard this theory. But Michael Keaton, of course, is coming back as Batman, which is exciting news.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, as you know, and I know, Flashpoint has Thomas Wayne in it. Do you
Yep.
think Michael Keaton could actually just be Thomas Wayne?
Yes. I think very big time he could because especially with how it's supposed to go down and how everything's changed here too. They can completely have him as Thomas Wayne, and of course connected in when Flash takes him the message to who he could be going to see. What's his name? Either Robert Pattinson or going to see
Ben
God, I
Affleck.
just said his name. Yes, he could. Those are the two that he could be going to see because there's no reason for him to be going to see Batgirl if Batgirl's from that universe already.
Right.
And then that's perfect if she's from that universe because of the fact that he became Batman, she could still become Batgirl. If he is, that would be super dope. I would love to see him as Thomas rather than being another Bruce Wayne. Especially if they do the old suit to give him this homage, like he's the big daddy of Batman.
Yeah, totally.
that that would be sick. I hope they go that route. I really do because I know one of the Flashes is gonna die, hands down. There's nothing we can do about that. They've shown us 2 Flashes, and the number one thing we know about time travelers is two of you cannot exist. Like so, by the end of this movie, one of you is gonna either sacrifice themselves or go die and go back to their time. But as much as 2 speedsters could be out of time, they're also saying there's a chance the second Flash is Reverse Flash, and I'm like, I could see that, but we'll see what's gonna happen. But I hope Michael Keaton is that. I have a lot of hope from the DCEU. I just hope that I hope they don't let us down. I hope they take flight. And that theory right there it's golden. I hope that theory is 100% true. I want to see that.
Well,
MCU
I
after this.
yeah, and I know like with the DCEU, like well, and DC and Warner Brothers in general, they love
Yeah.
to reuse topics and ideas that they never got to use. Like they had been trying to make the death of Superman since the late 90s. But you know, like they've been trying to make that since the 90s, and they finally got it done with Batman v
They
Superman. But
what's that
then
word? They like to do it's like advertising. You see the same things over and over again. It re-clicks back in your mind. So like you said, they've been trying to get him to do the death of Superman since the 90s with Nicolas Cage.
yeah, but then George Miller, as I'm sure you're aware, like he was trying to make a Justice League movie
Yep.
for a long time. It didn't end up happening because Warner Brothers was worried about having two Batmans on screen with Christian Bale and I think it was Armie Hammer was going to be Batman. And in the script, it was supposed to be the death of the Flash. So I wonder if they'll use some of the threads and needles from that for the new Flash movie. But
I hope they do. I hope they manage to make something new here. I think they've been trying to go dark for so long that I think they need to stop thinking about dark. I think they need to stop thinking about MCU, and I think they need to step. I think they need to go for the heart. I don't think I think comedy is a good thing. It keeps people there, and the Flash always has comedy, so bring it. But I think it's the heart that they need to go with. If we're starting off with this first one, and this first one's about him running back in time to save his mom, he needs to hit the hearts of all of us. Because I cried, bro, at the end of season 1 of The Flash, where Barry went back in time to save his mom, and then realized he got to talk to his mom that one last time, and realized he couldn't save her. I was in tears. I was like Kevin Smith, just like this, because I was
yeah.
sitting there saying, if I had this chance and someone had taken my mom away from me, I'd kill anybody to get back to my mom. So it's like the fact that you have to let this happen right here and right now, or else you're gonna mess up so much stuff. And in a season later, he does that. He goes back and he saves her, and he messes everything up because he was broken, he was hurt again. That is what you guys need to tap us into, that human emotion, that feeling. We no, I have not lost my mother, but damn it, when I watch this movie, I need to feel like I have lost my mother. Like I need to feel like I'm making this choice to save my mother. I'm him right now. Okay, I am choosing to save my mom. Damn the universe. Damn everything. That no, I don't deserve what's happened to me. And of course, that sounds selfish, but my mother doesn't deserve this either. So I want them to tap into our emotion like they did for Aquaman and how we felt for how he lost his mom. Some people were trying to say that one part was cringe where he was young and he said, "Oh, they killed my mom," and I said, "Damn, that's crazy." Y'all see this right here is diversity. That he doesn't look like you. Y'all say it's cringe when he does a scene where he's saying they killed his mom. He's sad. That's cringe to you guys. If that's cringe to you guys, I don't want to. I don't want to know what cringe is, man. But damn, hold on one second. My laptop's over here getting low.
Oh yeah, my bad. We went a
No,
little long here.
it's not you. I could talk forever. All right,
Oh yeah,
so
same.
come here.
Man,
There you go.
that is a huge speaker behind you. Is that one of those
Yeah,
JBL things? God damn.
uh, it's a TNG. It's actually the funny thing is, can you hear it?
No.
You can't.
No, I think Discord's cutting it out.
Good Discord. Yeah, no, I've had it running a little back here. Yeah, it's a big ass speaker. So, so when it comes to the DC, I want them to pull all the stops, stop playing with us. I also want them to do TV shows better than the MCU. It's time. You guys have all this property. You're doing a Penguin series. Bring
Yeah,
more series, man.
let's go. Yeah.
Bring some stuff. Because right now
Peacemaker
the
was great.
time.
Did you watch that?
What was great?
Peacemaker, did you watch it?
Yeah, Peacemaker was Peacemaker.
Oh
I
yeah.
love Peacemaker and everything it had. Peacemaker is the thing I've been telling everybody when they say, I say, well, how come we've had 3 Spider-Man movies, but we haven't had 3 Black Panthers movies? Oh, Spider-Man's more popular than Black Panther. Okay, Peacemaker is a non-known character. 8 episodes. Got people talking about he has the greatest superhero TV show out there. It's not about popularity, and it's never been about popularity because that's just your way of trying to say it's what I know. It's what I know, and what you know isn't everything. That man
Yep.
came out with 8 episodes and merged it completely with James Gunn. He took a non-character. That's what I hated when I tell people I want the New Mutants and the X-Men. Oh, nobody knows about them. I want Miles Morales, Spider-Man back in the day. Nobody knows about them. I want not what you know about, dude. It's what you can write. And they're completely
Yeah, and you don't know about something until you know about it. So
right. And he completely killed it. I hope James Gunn gets to come back and do much more. I know he's working on something else with them. I can't remember what it is. Um, yeah, I hope they just continue. They need to push. They need to stop doing what they were doing before, and they need to expand, and they need to stop having the studio step in and destroy stuff. They need to get one person that overlooks it all, and that's it for the DCEU for me. Um, my heaviest though, I can't wait because I got it tattooed on me. I need my I need the Sinestro Corps. Excuse
yeah,
me. We didn't have any Green Lantern and that hurt. And I kind of need all of my colors to show up. So DC, I'm gonna need you to run it. For the MCU, I am super proud of the MCU. I cannot wait for the X-Men to step in. I hope they step in and we use. Did you ever watch the show called The Gifted on Fox?
I never watched it. No.
Cool. It's a show set in a different universe about mutants and how they are treated. If you're a mutant in that universe and you accidentally use your powers, you automatically, bro, get 10 years to life in prison. So say you're just out and you're doing something and you accidentally start a fire. It's your first time your powers go off. They'll treat that as you literally pulling a gun out on somebody and you go to jail. So The Gifted is literally about how mutants get treated and how politics acts, how the senators don't care about them. They have the mutant underground where they have to move mutants and stuff like that. They went to a doctor one time because they had to steal some antibiotics. So they needed to go to the doctors. They went to the hospital. The doctor ended up stopping the bleeding for one of the mutants. He bleeds, his power is light, so his blood is light, so it will burn you if you touch it and stuff. The doctor pulled basically one of the characters out and says, yeah, we know when it comes to mutants, we know there's a lot of domestic violence. And she was like, nah, there wasn't any domestic violence. He's like, are you sure? Are you okay? Like, so basically the doctor was treating her like he was beating her ass when that was not the case at all. He wasn't harming her in any type of way. Um, and the doctor even called the police, and the police end up coming and they end up having to run up to there. So I hope that they bring that world and that setting for not like fully, but somewhat, and to show how the X-Men get treated in their world, to show how they are somewhat oppressed in their world. Because the way Fox did it, Fox was all like, oh, there is racism. And then after Mystique did a thing, they were like, there's no racism. Like that's how it went. Like Mystique saved them, nobody cared about the mutants, nobody hated them. One of the biggest selling lines for them is the fact that they're hated and they're feared. And they are. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. Hold to it. And I hope the MCU when they come, it does. I hope that they get to all the characters. I hope we just don't see one X-Men film. I want them to do Cyclops and Phoenix, Storm and Gambit, Rogue and Magneto. Or if they're not going to do like Rogue and Magneto, I want them to do Magneto in a big way. I want them to hold him back like they would Sinister Apocalypse, make him look like he's bigger than he is until he comes and then he starts serving his tenure on the X-Men. I want the outer space adventures, the Phoenix, the Mcon Crystal, the Hellfire Club. I want it all. I want all the smoke, everything. Krakoa. I want Savage Land. I want everything we have ever seen. I want it. My biggest thing, the number one thing I've been waiting for my entire life, and they may not do it, of course, because I mean, I'd say I'm an asshole for wanting this, but at the same time, I am a comic buff and I really want this. I want to watch the Dark Phoenix fly to a completely different solar system, eat a damn sun, and kill 5 billion people in that solar system when it implodes from her eating it and there's no sun. They did that in the animated series, but in the animated series, they switched it up from the comic. In the comic, she kills 5 billion people. In the animated series, they say there was nobody in the solar system, so it was uninhabited. Complete lies.
Right.
But they did that for kids where I'm like, damn, she just murdered all these people. So I want to see that. Everything that we have, like in the MCU, I want to see it. Bring it to us. And if you
You
can't
think
bring it
they'll
to us
touch Dark
fully,
Phoenix? I don't know.
oh yeah.
Because they've tried it twice already, you know? Like
Yeah,
it's
the reason they're gonna run it is because third times they have the perfect chance to say third time's the charm
I
due to
almost
the
feel
fact that
like what they're doing with Wanda is like the MCU's version of the Dark Phoenix almost.
it's somewhat, but it's still to me, I feel like Wanda's version, I tell people WandaVision is a true mutant story. And people they don't understand me. I went and rewatched WandaVision over a week and a half ago. And I noticed it, and they don't say it in WandaVision. Every time Wanda's powers come out of her, every time, like you remember when she walks out of the hex and she starts speaking Sokovian and they go, where'd that accent come from? That is Wanda's powers and grief coming out of her to protect her. Even at the end, when she's with Agatha and they're in the room with the rooms and everything, Wanda starts speaking Sokovian and tries to use her powers, and her eyes turn red. But what's her name shows her everything, and she goes, "Oh, that accent just come and goes." No, the accent only comes when Wanda's childhood is trying to protect her, when that grief is trying to protect her. She is a psychic and she is a telekinetic. People, this is my biggest thing people don't see about this show. They just think, Wanda purposefully did this. Um, she was going through grief. That's she selfishly did this. Bro, you have never gone through grief if you just said she's going through grief and selfishly did this. Those two things do not go hand in hand. Grief and selfishly doing something during grief, you can't think about yourself during grief. You're going through grief. It's you're trying not to think about the thing that you've lost in this world, that connection that you lost. So they don't even with the end in episode 9, Wanda says, I am not a witch. I do not have powers. And people still, for some reason, they don't hear that part when she says that. They bypass that. You guys, do you not hear that she says, she admits, I am not a witch and I do not have these abilities. But last episode, she had to be shown her memories. She had to be shown when she was a little girl after watching all those movies and those videos and those TV things. That little girl was the one that stopped the missile from blowing up. That little girl is the one that keeps coming out of her to protect her. Every time you see her stop and then make the hex bigger, that's that little girl coming out of her as her power. When she blasted Pietro and then made the hex bigger, that was because he said something about a dead vision. The little girl came out of her, shot him, and made the hex bigger. Every time she did something that made that hex bigger, until the end of episode 9, it was her powers coming through to save her. It wanted to keep her in that safe space. That's why when she increased the hex, all the people around her that was at the end of the hex, they stopped moving and stopped doing stuff because the hex was trying to save her so much, it was taking up too much power and didn't know it. And then at the end, people were like, "Well, Wanda told those people, I was you were feeling good thoughts." See, as a psychic, I can tell you that. As a psychic, yeah, I thought I was making you guys feel good thoughts, but I don't know that I'm a witch, that I'm producing this hex that's warping reality, it's changing stuff. So people don't see in episode 8, where at the end, where she lets out the chaos magic and it hits everything around her. She even gets pulled into it after she creates Vision in the 1950s version of her standing there. She basically covered her own mind. Her powers are blocking her from seeing truth because it wants her to feel protected and safe. Every time I watch WandaVision, I go, this is a mutant story. You know, it's like anybody that treats you any other way, we know what they would call you if they called you the mutant word. You know, it's like, it's just sad. And people get mad at Spectrum saying, oh, how could you say they'll never know what they gave up for you? Dude, she's not a villain. She didn't have to give up her family for you. She could have stayed in here absorbing y'all, letting your daughter piss in the closet, okay? Doing nothing. But she killed her family, the children which she bore, the person which she loved and recreated. She killed them all so you guys can continue to live your lives in your happy world. Don't ever say that person's a villain. And I have people, oh, well, those people suffering says different. Accidents happen. Somebody snapped and killed half the universe. Be happy that today, right now, you happen to succumb to somebody who's gone through it. She has gone through it. She has lost her entire family plus her family again. Like had to watch Vision die twice. Now three times? Come on, man. Like y'all don't know what you do not know what grief is if you ever put the word selfish next to grief and say she selfishly did that. She did not. She did not even know she could do that. And even when she did do that, she started wondering what the hell is going on. Why is this stuff doing this? And of course, her powers wouldn't let her question it. It was trying her its best to say, no, there's nothing here. You're good. No, there's nothing here. You're good. That's why when she would blast when she blasted what's her name out of the wall, Spectrum out of the wall, like episode 3, the wall healed itself. And then she returned to normal and was like, yes, dear, what's going on? That that is your powers trying to protect you. It was a real mutant story until episode 8, where her powers were locked and they couldn't come out to save her, and she learned the truth of everything. And then that's where she can proceed on. That's where she was able to affect the hex. That's where she was like, I'm not doing this. What are you talking about? Your powers got pulled off you, baby. Somebody pulled the blinders off you. Now you can see. And I'm sorry to tell you, you've been doing this. People really her, even though she tried to let it down the first time. She let the military in, and Vision and them were dying in front of her, and then she stopped it because she was like, I'll figure out a way. I think that they need to continue. I don't know how they're going to bring the X-Men into the MCU, but I hope that something happens like the Arrowverse to where they all clash and become one Earth. And now what's happened is final, and they're going to continue. But they need to.
You think they're going to bring? You think they're going to bring Fox's X-Men into it, or it's going to be like its own MCU sort of?
No, I think that if they were to bring Fox's X-Men into one MCU, I think they would change most of the history for it. Because how Fox went about it was just so horrible.
Yeah.
You're better off just using the actual comics. Like the actual comics will get you. They can do exactly how they did the Avengers comics and stuff like that right now, and it will get them a million times much further, rather than them trying to make their own versions of it.
Yeah, Fox's X-Men reminds me a lot of the DCEU, where it's like the highs were really high, like really good, like Logan, X-Men 2 even, Days of Future Past, but the lows were so low. You know, so yeah, it'd be kind of rough, but with like them, you know, they basically announced Patrick Stewart, even though Patrick Stewart's like, I'm not in it. It's like, sure, man. Yeah. we saw your bald head, bro. But like, yeah, so it's a little weird. It's a little confusing. I mean, of course, Deadpool is also confirmed, but that could also be just like...
because I heard that Sophie Turner is confirmed to show up as Jean Grey. I heard that Scarlet Witch and the Phoenix were supposed to have a get down in Multiverse of Madness. However, I've seen nothing to conclude that it's going to happen. I also heard that the original Xavier, not original, the young Xavier was going to be there.
McAvoy.
James McAvoy, but he's saying he's not. But I'm not believing anything until we watch the movie, just because of the fact
just like,
that,
how long is this fucking movie going to be?
You're right. Can it be like 3 hours? Right. I hope. I don't want Fox's X-Men in it. I think there are certain people that they should pull from the universe over to start this new universe of X-Men, but I don't think that there's everybody. I think like Alexandria Shipp, who played Storm, I think she's a very good young Storm. I think if they ever need a young Storm. But for me, my Storm is 6'2", 6'5". She's taller than the boys. She's got heels on. She does her thing. My Wolverine is small. I like Hugh Jackman. I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I just never liked his size. He was always too tall. Wolverine's 5'3". He's damn near a midget. Okay, he's a midget that pulls out claws and wrecks people and talks shit. Let's be real. I get it. That was the old school. You know, the small guy. Don't count out the small guy. So whatever the modern take is today, make that Wolverine. But I think that they need to bring them in all capacity because the X-Men has gone through so many different changes in their comic books that I think that they're going to set them together in one phase and bring them together with everybody else perfectly. But it also needs to reflect the problems that they go through. Yeah, because it's like, you know, it's like Spider-Man. He's got his own universe within the universe. X-Men have their own universe within the universe. We need to establish these things and we need to make sure that they're met.
That is my biggest fear with them bringing the X-Men in, is that they don't even fully introduce the X-Men. They just take the characters from X-Men and put them into the MCU, which would be pretty lame. Like what they did with Wanda, right? Like Wanda wasn't a mutant.
She came in. Well, they did her. I liked how they dropped her in for her original because originally she was a villain. When she started off in the comics, her and Quicksilver, I believe was it her and Quicksilver? It was either her and Quicksilver or her and what's his name's brother, Havoc, were villains when they started off. So they kind of did them right in that and how they had them as villains. But I get what you're saying. She didn't get her own movie and stuff.
Right, and they went out of their way to be like, these are not mutants because they were
No,
experimented on, and that's how they got their powers.
because
Uh,
of copyrights and licensing,
yeah,
basically.
legal
Yeah,
issues.
they were
Uh,
pissed at Fox. They were pissed at Fox because Fox had chose to continue doing Fantastic Four movies, and they chose to continue doing what was the X-Men movies because their contract is if they don't drop a movie every 2 years, then it reverts back over to them. And they had gotten pissed, so everything in the comic books that they were doing, they had started to wipe out stuff for Fox. That's why Fox could only do Logan because they had made X-23 the new Wolverine. So the only
oh
thing that
yeah,
they had
and
left
they
was that.
stopped making Fantastic Four comics for years
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of all of that,
because of
which is
that.
so
Yeah, they
lame.
didn't want you guys touching it. And I hope the Fantastic Four comes into Marvel. Marvel is literally about to rebuild its universe again. Even though I'm pissed, I don't get to see my X-Men standing there with the original Captain America, original Iron Man. Possibly they will with Thor. Um, I love the fact that they're still coming into a universe that's developing, and that they're going to get to train the other heroes, and that they're going to get to go off. This is their chance, and I want to see that. Like the X Men. The reason why I want the X Men to get a TV show is because they're teachers as well as superheroes. So trying to do a movie based around 6 or 7 people on a team to 10 people, then doing a TV show which kind of gets around to each and every character. Yeah, of course you're gonna get some action and you'll put some side stuff in, and they have they have that richness. They need to. I feel like that's a definite, and it's gonna sell out. It'll do just like Hawkeye series, like WandaVision and The Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's about time, and I'm pissed that they did that to Wanda. I'm laughing because I feel like pretty soon we're gonna hear them say Wanda and Quicksilver are mutants again. Watch. They're gonna switch that right back up. They're gonna be like, hello.
Yeah, they were kind of hinting at that in WandaVision, right? Like,
Well, yeah, they were, and then in the comic books with Wanda just dying and doing what she had to do to come back, and then making the resurrection process better. Um, Magneto had told her basically, you're always going to be my daughter, and I was like, I could see it happening. I was like, they're gonna be like, yeah, nah, she's his kid. Because now when I
they
say
have to.
like the
Yeah.
daughter of Magneto about Scarlet Witch, I get some people on my post going off talking about that's not his kid. She's not a mutant. That's he like. So you're telling stepdads out there they didn't raise their kids? Okay, like you go do you.
Well, I think we've been going for a while, and I could talk about
My
this
bad.
shit all day, but we should probably think about wrapping it up.
Yeah,
Hopefully, you could come back one day and we could just talk again
dude,
for
just
hours and hours.
hit me up on my Instagram anytime you want me to come through and
Hell yeah,
do a
dude.
show about it. Just let me know, and I'm with it. Like
But
yeah.
to wrap it up, I just want to give you the floor here to promo yourself, shout yourself out,
Oh,
all that fun stuff, your
I
socials,
got you.
all that good stuff.
I'm Jordan Blaine of New Comga. You can check us out on Instagram at New Comga U. You can check us out at Twitter at New Comga U. Also, it's basically this right here with the letter U right behind it. Check us out on Facebook. We got a page, and we also have Universe Comga. We also are on YouTube also and TikTok, of course, under at New Comga U. Same thing. It's New Comga Universe. We do comics, anime, and gaming, all of that stuff. If you guys like that stuff, make sure you come and you check it out. Also follow us on any one of those social medias that I gave you guys. Thank you so much. It's X-Men forever, and that's verified. And my guy's show is popping over here. So make sure you guys always check out this.
Well, thanks for coming on, man.